Hello, back to the city of wind and rain, and where everything is always wet and cold. I've just visited the Maritime Museum here in Rotterdam. It's the last thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to go to the hotel to collect my bags and take a train to Amsterdam. I did not record the inside of the museum because I'm not still feeling 100% yet. So watch the previous video, you know, I woke up feeling a bit ill today. Not going to go into details, but just cut here on my eyebrow has to do with it. So, the museum has two major parts. The inside one, well, let's talk about this outside one first, because what we're actually going to. So, these are actual ships. You can walk through them and they don't even check your tickets, so I'm not even sure if this is actually paid or if it's just free. But there is Maritime Museum written there, but the layout of the museum is slightly confusing because it's a bit spread over throughout the port, but the only significant building really is that one. So from the inside, I really find it hard to recommend it because I personally just found it a bit boring. Most of it's just a regular museum, and if you are really into like ship models, then this is definitely the museum for you. But that's by far what they have, so by the end it's very likely that you'll be completely tired of seeing ship models. A brief addendum here, there's also an area that recreates an oil rig. It's actually quite pretty, but the games and activities there are geared towards children, so as an adult you might find it a bit boring. The outside part is a bit more interesting because you can actually get to go into some of the ships and walk across. However, the same way, there isn't much to do, you see. Perhaps if this was a beautiful sunny day, warm in the summer, perhaps there would be like ships open to visitation and people doing things and other attractions to do here. But as it is currently rainy and cold, there's pretty much nobody here. You could pretty much walk from one edge of the pier to the other without meeting anyone. So, in the same sense, I mean, if you do really like ships and you are a ship aficionado and you want to get to see ships and go into ships, then perhaps, sure, the museum costs less than 20 euros. I think it's 17.50 or something like that. Everything here costs around 18 euros. However, don't really expect it to tell like the history of the Netherlands according to the sea or something like that. One thing, for example, I actually missed is that there is no single true scale model of a traditional ship inside the museum. So yes, there are these ones outside here, but most of them we can't really get aboard. And even those that you can get aboard, let me see here. It says that the ship was built in 1908, I think. I mean, it's fine, but it's great to see a ship that's more than 100 years. But considering the historical relevance of shipping to Rotterdam, I was expecting at least like one ship back from the Renaissance or the Middle Ages, for example. And so, perhaps if you really like ships, then maybe it's an interesting museum for you. And of course, the main part is actually that building back there. And one of the interesting things of Rotterdam also is that there are lots of water taxis and things like this you would only see in this kind of city. So now on to my hotel and I'll get my luggage and get back to the train station to go to Amsterdam. Now they are white because they have lots of myelin. So osteoarthritis is essentially just a natural wear and tear. Infarctions can happen anywhere there are arteries. Most people think of the esophagus as a hollow tube, like the trachea, except the trachea has cartilage to keep